This is America, son. How about you support America first? Huh? Or hell, since you like Iran so much, pack your shit and get the fuck out. Hmm? How's that, you ungrateful little shit? Instead of being, you know, for Iran, why can't you be grateful for the freedoms that you take for granted every single day here in America? Huh? Oh, because that would mean for you to, you know, actually be patriotic and actually support America. Something that you probably don't do because you probably don't give a shit about, about being here because you somehow have the misfortune of being born here. And if you love, or, well, pardon me, and please do not take this out of context, but if you love Iran so much and you feel like, you know, and, whether or not you like gay people or not, that's your business, not mine. But do you realize what they do to gay folks in Iran? Huh? Yeah. They tend to throw them off the buildings, don't they? Yeah, they do. You'd rather be supporting a country that hates freedom of speech, hates freedom of religion, forces its own religion upon other people who are not religious, right? Or don't agree with its religious values, right? And promptly executes them and all that stuff, right? Has an ideology that does all that and rapes little kids, rapes 9-year-old kids, and forces the 9-year-old little girls into marriage. What Western country has ever allowed that to happen to any of those kids, to happen to any little kids? Because I can't name one. I cannot name one Western country that has allowed that. I can, however, name some countries in the Middle East, more specifically Iran, who has done that. Who has done that for the last, what was it, 47 years? And the thing about that is that extremism is human nature. But let's be real here. Some cultures are better than others. You know, there's a reason why those countries in the Middle East that are being ruled by those dictatorships are fucking shitholes. There's a reason for that. If America's so fucking racist and all that shit, why is everybody else from those third world countries fleeing said third world countries to come here? Riddle me that one, huh? Because last I checked, America's the last lighting beacon of freedom on the entire earth right now. If if America goes, so too does the rest of the world. You know, I mean, you say you hate America, but yet you have no problem with hot food on your plate and everything else. You have no problem saying whatever the fuck you want and not being thrown in jail, you know, you have no problem with that. But then, when someone dares disagree with you or votes for common sense that you disagree with, you somehow throw a tantrum and start having a problem. But America's racist, right? America's racist. America's all this shit that you claim that it is, right? Yeah. Excuse me. That says more about you. That says more about you than it does America, than it does the rest of us who, voted for common sense and everything else, And that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have a right to protest peacefully, because you do. However, it's when you riot in the middle of the street, that's where you end up creating a problem. That's where law enforcement tends to get involved. So, but yeah, I mean, again, if America's so racist, then, why are other people from other countries coming here? Because if we support America first, if are so racist, we must be the worst motherfuckers at it. I mean, if we're part of the Klan, as you say, right? We must be the dumbest Klan members out there, because, we're not the ones being racist, but you sure as hell are. That's just a fact of the matter. You guys are out there in the streets acting a bunch of assholes and everything else, then you wonder why you get arrested by the cops. Well, gee, maybe if you don't act an ass out there in the streets, maybe the cops won't come get your ass. And who knows? Maybe you won't get deported by ICE if you're an illegal immigrant with no arrest warrants. But knowing you, even if you don't have arrest warrants, and if you are an illegal immigrant, you're still going to end up being arrested by ICE anyways, because, immigration and customs enforcement, yeah, immigration and customs must be enforced. But then again, last time I checked, America is a nation of law and order. And that's what we're trying to restore here in this country, because, I don't know, for the last 10 years, yeah, it's been kind of down the fucking shitter. But it's up to us to reverse that. And it's not just in the national elections either, it's in the local elections. Abigail Spangenberger, if you are hearing this, you might want to start taking notes. Just saying. We here in Virginia, we're already suffering with high gas prices, taxes up the ass, and we also have one of the people who was elected in there who wasn't even a natural born citizen in this country. A guy from, what was it, Bangladesh? Is it a dude from Bangladesh? Motherfucker, I can have as many AR-15s as much as I want to, so long as I'm not being a dickhead. You can't do shit about it. So, let's step up, America. Step up, Virginia.